Well, good morning as we're sitting here at LTV on this beautiful morning of Monday morning in October 21st, year 2024, here at the Hello Show. And my name is Haim Mizrahi, continuing with the tradition of public access and the tradition of the Hello Show that's been on the air since 1980. Of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, Francis Sand, and then, of course, the likes of you out there to make it your business to enhance and fortify this concept called public access. I gathered actually along with the weekend. By the way, we had a wonderful, successful exhibition that I curated and produced for Micah Marder. A wonderful full body of work, a great artist, and this morning, Monday, October 21st, we actually brought most of the work from Ashwa Hall to the corridors of LTV to continue with our tradition of portraying art by artists from all over. We're very open here at LTV, and I had the privilege to curate it for close to 28 years now. So I gathered thoughts, I gathered energy, I gathered points of reference, I gathered a reason to flatten my doubts. I gathered a consideration for emotional stability and therefore guaranteeing my spiritual psyche to continue on its merry journey. And I gathered that art is important, and even more so important, as I always think it's important, and as I always try to undress the scenario of creating art and being an artist for the sake of you out there to understand what I mean and to what extent it stretches itself once you make a decision to create and to paint and to play music and to write poetry, and then kind of present it to the world, or acknowledge, make sure that the world is acknowledged by your efforts to create and to put in place something formidable, at least in your eyes, every time you do it. And what really makes it formidable is the fact that it reaches all the corners, all the available openings, um, all the level of comforts that has a way to welcome you and to make you feel at ease and to make you feel safe and to make you feel wanted and understood and to make you feel that you're needed. That's actually a great way to describe it. Needed, uh, needed in a way because this goodwill um, find its way to tackle. I want to use the word evil. I don't know what it really means when people say evil. It's it's that kind of entity and source and force and strength and that for some reason coherently make it its business to disregard the goodness of the world, to directly or indirectly always find itself in the path of hurting people, of making people's lives miserable. And but at the same token, once you're hands-on, reflecting yourself onto the concept that spells paintings, that spells an orchestra of what is it, synchronicity or whatever, is that a word? Um, Togetherness, precise, thoughtful, mindful, intentional, capable, seeking excellence, pursuing greatness, pursuing common sense, and making it second nature, to be second nature in your life, and so you don't have to seek logic and common sense when you need to sort through and when you need to show for something and say, wait, this is not what you think. It's simpler than you think, and here is why. So sometimes you have to look and look and look and say, okay, I can't find it. But then when you try to utter the sense and the composition of it, you're not necessarily able to really draw a solid picture as you should sometimes with people. It's just like when people encounter you and approach you and tell you and ask you and accuse you and accept you and love you and hate you and work with you, work against you, walk with you, walk without you, walk distant to you, walk close to you. All of this is something that you have have the duty to sort through what the actual meaning of it all, the actual meaning of friendship, coming together, blending, union, um, um, deciphering, strengthening, adding meaning and more meaning and more meaning. And hey, like, listen, I had a conversation with a complete stranger the other day at the opening of my Murder, and we stood there for 15, 20 minutes, and there was complete, utter tolerance, dealing and willing and expressing sophisticated, deep, um, philosophical, religious, political, social subject matter that was deciphered back and forth. And there was a level of camaraderie that brought it all under the scale, the sensitive, gentle scale of that which this mechanism is supposed to allow you to indulge in the results of your doings, and kind of having that stage ready for you, and nobody will come to you and tell you, I don't work for the sake of the cause, I need to be paid, or I need to be compensated, which is legitimate and okay. But then you need to remind people and say, we are responsible for creating this concept. We are an inseparable reason and part of that concept that thrives, and you so freely and adamantly enjoy it. You and everyone else that you know, you and everyone else that you know, and the strangers that you don't know that surround you. The world itself benefits because people like us go out of our way and become selfless with every step we take, and then we yearn towards that goal that spells maybe, you know proving the world of something. Doesn't matter what it is, just proving the world of something. And then therefore you find yourself in the highlighted zone of that shadow that actually is very bright inside, but on the outside it's kind of blackish, dark, grayish, but inside the vibrance and the vitality and the potency of that light is not only non-wavering, non-wavering, and if I want to add to it something, it will be like committed, technically speaking, committed without even yet uh, delving into the concept in order to understand what the contents are. What is guiding us? What is at stake? And by the way, what is the subject matter? And what is the title? And what is the suggestion on how to pursue a course of action? And you know what? It sounds good when you speak of course of action. We are just about to take action, and we need to dress this action with a personality, with a character, with features that will probably keep it company for the rest of its life period. And then, in addition to it, bring a smile into the equation. I saw my friend the other day, and I said, I can't believe that I know you for so long that I actually remember that one day you were really good looking. And I was laughing. And the person that I said that to is a very close person to me. But you cannot count on the fact that just because you want to make people laugh and use sense of humor, that you won't end up actually hurting someone's feeling. But when you laugh, like I did, then the laugh is contagious. Then the other person laughs, and then the other person doesn't even know whether he laughs because you laugh or he laughs because of the kind of joke you made, which is funny. But what do you want exactly to draw out of people's hearts? I will not try ever to eradicate evil from the hearts of people, even if I could. I don't know if that's the proper thing to do, or well, that's our job. And why should I kind of do the job that the Almighty Power that created us is responsible for it and all this? I can throw a thought or two. I can volunteer a suggestion. I can try and make sense and save people a lot of hassle. I can cut the amount of obstacles that we'll find during your journey. If I it was be allowed to do, and I would be, they would be approved by people that I'm okay to go ahead and pursue. But I don't believe that I can really guarantee myself any kind of definite change or certain things that will require change that in the depth of your heart you know that is unchangeable, not yours. Observing others, I mean. And of course that, of course you are like any other person, you're like the people out there. So, but you don't want to focus on yourself, because you know what? You're already doing a good job with yourself. You're reflecting, you're observing, you're thinking, you're contemplating, you're estimating. You do that every day on a daily basis. Yeah, you do that. So, and sometimes you can't even see a way to add more effort to what existing effort is at play, and all that. The world needs to seek and to find refuge in the hands of those who are willing and selfless to give out of their knowledge and out of their goodwill. Even if complete lack of knowledge is there, still goodwill is enough if you were to only use that to prepare and to condition yourself to be ready, to be willing, to be open, to give, to share. Like the other day, I had a conversation with this young artist. Didn't know her from Jesus. We were starting to talk and all this, and then I looked and I said, here's a person. She seeks, she seeks for the thing, and then she's caught in the usual ritual that takes her, unknowns to her, further and further away from where she needs to be, thinking and hoping that actually by doing so, she's getting closer and closer. And I was there in the right moment. And I said to God, God, thank you. Here she is. Here's this person. I'm going to give her my knowledge. I'm going to give her a suggestion. I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to summarize it. I'm going to introduce it. And I'm going to prove it to her that this is what she needs. And of course, immediately and quickly enough, you realize if that person is the right person, because some people already shows you and gives you signs where you want to say, Joseph, okay, I thought I can do it, but right before you began, you decided not to pursue because you're saying, okay, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Lucky for us that some of us can identify that. But in this case, I saw full, complete readiness. I remember, and I will get back to this story, but I remember the ones I sat with Eric Strauss. He's the grandson of Martin Buber, very good friend of mine. Martin Buber, solid entity, solid wisdom, solid concept of philosophy and what philosophy is all about, into psychology, into sociology, into science, into arts. I mean, the heart of it. His grandson there sitting with me. I grew up with him. He's a great pianist. He came to New York. He studied with the greatest, with Gil Evans, Bill Evans, King Evans, with everybody. Mastered, graduated, came back to his country, and then I was there with him. And he knows that I'm by nature a freestylist and an alternative musician, playing drums and this and that. And he heard that I worked with pianists in the past and transformed them literally as a drummer who doesn't know much about harmony or melody. Then I managed to take great pianists that are master of theory and instill in them within something that will just shoot them to the stars. So we were there, whatever, we were smoking a joint. This was like 2001 in Tel Aviv, smoking a joint and being contemplating, and suddenly he turns to me and he says, Chaim, I want you to give me what you're giving Avi Adrian. That's the other pianist that I worked with. I want you to give it to me, please. And the piano is there. I said, yes, you want it. That's good. Okay. Then I looked at him. Then I really realized it, that I can do that. He wanted it. It's a great moment. Then I sat at the piano with him and I told him what to do. I didn't tell him what to play. I told them how to play and what to do for the entire picture to be thriving and successful. Why? Because you want to have beginning, middle, and end. Why? Because you want to pursue until you really accomplish and complete a few cycles at least. So I'm saying, don't do that. Don't wait, stuff. Don't go though. Because he was the and I said, no, 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 no. Because it's in the drums. It da dee da dee da dee da 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 da. So he's in the piano and I said, feel me, feel me. Think whether it's 4 or 3 or 5 or 7, but it's over 8, over 9, over 5. It matters, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, but it matters. It matters, it matters, it matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it matters. Things like that. I tell him, don't you dare stop. Don't you dare stopping while I'm with you talking, explaining, telling you, not telling you, quiet. You play. You don't stop playing. I don't want to waste this time, his precious time. So suddenly he realized, 15 minutes into the equation of that coming together, he realized live that his style, that his technical ability is changing, improving. Suddenly he's suddenly he feels the nerve ends and the anxiety and the electricity on the surface on the first layer under your skin that is soothing, yet it's disturbing because you cannot identify the exact location of that sensation where it's coming from, but something is happening, and you know that you play differently, and you know that when you feel and think that you play differently, that means you play, it spells that you play better. And getting into the thick of it, I'm explaining to him something. Now he knows that he cannot stop playing. So even when we talk, he goes, and I'm talking to him and all this. So you see, so you come from here, you go there, and instead of rolling it, you go into a paradiddle. Instead of doing rak, you do pakatiti pakatiti, or if instead of doing rak, you say titikata. Start inventing those short phrases as a new language. Insert the da di ga di di ga di da da di instead of this kind of mechanism that needs to change. This kind of let's smear, let's slap it on, kind of thing. And because I'm a good art pianist, it can never be wrong because even the slap it on would be meaningful. But no, 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 no. A losing proposition is a losing proposition no matter how much goodness you're going to dump on top of it. It's not going to yield to goodness. It's just a losing proposition. That means it has accomplished that title, that reality cannot escape or snap out of it. It needs to admit, to accept, to adapt. Then you will be granted a way out to start fresh and be told, okay, now let's see what you're going to be doing with it. I gave you back your freedom, for God's sake. Let's see what you're going to be doing with it. I'm not going to add and say you better do something good with it, or now it's your chance. No, no, no pep talk. No, no. I want to see how you can digest even more so than you already are. How inseparable idea that it is that accompanies you and actually shows who you are and make you feel that oneness with the concept that spreads open and being multiplying by division, and then you realize the plentifulness of it, and then you know instinctively immediately that you need to at some point pay attention intimately to everyone and each of that, whatever it is that's happening, and go one by one. And some of it you interact with for a minute, some of it for an hour and a half, and some of it for 10 minutes. But you're paying attention. You're making your presence known. You're making your role known. to the participants. So that Eric Strauss was there. He was there. And he, after an hour of a session, looked at me and said, Haim, my arms are stronger. I can actually execute certain things that I knew what to do, but I couldn't get my hands to do it. I said, depend on that new energy that you got. Depend on it. Depend on it. Don't be afraid to admit that you need it. Don't be afraid to show the world that you're needy, if indeed you are needy. Don't be afraid. Don't shy away from showing your vulnerability and accept that weakness supposedly into your life. Yes, you still accept it, and in minutes you let go of it. In minutes lets go of itself. Don't worry about that. So now I want to conclude it for him, for this Eric Strauss, brilliant pianist, and now a singer, a pianist and singer, performs and lives in Germany, really doing some great stuff. Now I wanted to conclude it for him. And I say, respect the new strength that you're accomplishing. Be mindful of the ins and outs and the ins and outs of this kind of achievements and gathering of a new stage and additional composition, in addition to the complexity of that gathering of compositions of yours that are naturally just there, positioned, being present where you are present. Treasure it. Seek in a way that will make sure that you will make those achievements that we were just experiencing in 1 hour here. Don't let go. But don't be cliche to accept or to adapt slogans that are exported from wherever destination to be imported into your heart. No, I mean, there's no room in your heart for this kind of crap. It is crap, not because the concepts are useless or meaningless. It's because that wasn't allowed to enter your system, wasn't allowed to show itself. It wasn't allowed to show up unannounced. And why is it a problem? Because now we got to get rid of it. Now we got to get nasty sometimes and say, someone, you're gonna have to leave. I love you, I hate you, I want you, I don't want you, but you're gonna have to leave now. I need that ability to come together with an understanding of the establishment of a core, of a triangle that I can just rest on, just that simple. And I can feel comfortable, and adjustments are just so very rare, so very opposite too often, if ever at all. You want to just feel like, yeah, this is it. It's there. I see it. I know I'm going to go there. I'm going to fit. Everything else is going to fit. Everything else is going to follow and fit just like I fit. And just like I know that I'm going to fit, it knows that when I come there, it's going to fit just as much as it knows, on the basis of the fact that it's an surety that I'm going to fit. You follow what I'm saying? So this is long before there's the very early stages of beginning of what's going on. What is it all about? What are we talking about? What did he just say? Wait a second, can we go back a little bit because I didn't get this and that? And suddenly you realize, just because the Mother Nature realizes that you're paying attention, because by your reactions, it's evident that you were paying attention. You know what you're talking about, or at least you know what you want others to talk about, or at least you know that people know that you came from some kind of a space of experience and enough material to show for, because you really do have material to show for. I know if you come to me with the supposedly most terrible composition, and this the most unfit poem, the most disgusting, ugly paintings, which I don't believe it can exist even. If you show me 40 of them, immediately my mind will refuse to find itself in a point where it's actually seeking meaning, seeking a gathering of the essence of what's taking place. So reality is trying very hard to tell you in its own language and hoping that you will be equipped enough to instantly and automatically and quickly understand what Mother Nature is telling you in its language. And it sounds a little kind of out there, but it's once you break the barrier, and it takes only one attempt to break the barrier. You're indulging. This is second nature. This is all behind you. Now you're in the new entity. The new entity is love, 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 love. Care, 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 care. Desire, 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 desire. Giving, 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 giving. Sharing, 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 sharing. Thinking, 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 thinking. Eating good, 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 delicious, delicious, delicious. Palate, spices, metaphors, just the rhythm that comes into the pauses, into the ba da 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 or ba da 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 da. And it's just like everything agrees with everything. But you know what? You're not stupid. You're not an amateur. You're not sitting there not knowing what you're talking about, what you're doing or not doing. You're exactly the opposite of that. You're solid. You're solid. You're solid. Going back to that new person that I met in this art show, and I realized, oh my God, I can give this artist something the artist doesn't even can begin to understand. What is it that I'm going to give him now? Abandon yourself, abandon your plan to get into the mind of the other that wrote a book. Good, not bad. Wrote a book about a subject that is very dear to you, and you were hoping that if you will be able to coherently and capably uh, technically sit and read the book and say that you read it in the stages that you read it, in the speed that you read it, and they actually understand what the writer was trying to, and it's wonderful and this and that. So wherever she was, I wanted her out of there. I wanted her to say, let the person that you just about to rave about, because he's just about to finish the book that he or she wrote, and then you're just going to think the world of them. And it doesn't work this way, because you want to abandon the sources that cannot speak back to you live, because it's going to be you yourself or you yourself and you. That means there are always two other people around you. Once it's yourself, once it's you, and once it's you again, or once it's yourself again, and it's you and yourself again, and yourself again, and it's you and then you and yourself, and yourself, you, and yourself. This triangle is like absolutely magical. So abandon this commitment. Oh, I'm halfway through. No halfway through, no discussion, no thought, not wasting your energy, no need to get to know of the nature of the energy that's being spent and on what, just knowing energy. Don't want to waste it. Wasting my energy means I'm putting it to use for the sake of something that is not justified and doesn't justify your willingness to allow this energy to make that happen, that you could do without. You could do without because you need to choose, pick and choose your battles. And that's because the battle is going to happen at some point. And you got to be, I'm not talking about military or being obsessed and always ready for God knows what. Yeah, of course, things can happen, but also things can happen that you slip on a banana peel while you're on your way to this vicious battlefield, bloody battlefield, and you just got killed because you slipped on a banana um, peel. It's like, so what? Death is death is death is death. Life is life is life is life. Death is death is death is death. That is that. So suddenly it becomes music. So you see, if I say this is that, that means it cannot be that. It's it's on the papa. It's not, and you start with words, you start with thoughts, then you go to rhythm, then you go to literally an acoustic drum set, then you go to piano. And not necessarily that you know how to play all of them. And if you can play all of them, then you're not necessarily that you're such a great player. And even if you're not such a great player, it's not necessarily that you even have a chance to stand to become better and at some point prevail and succeed in showing something vis-a-vis these mediums. But while you're at it, you realize that you need to at least have the right amount so you'll be able to show for. So when there is a situation where it's to be or not to be, to exist or cease of existing, it's like the difference. And you always want to exist and survive and thrive. So you just want to have the right amount. So the voice on the other end tells you, sorry, you don't qualify, because of sorry. And then you look and you heard you said, did you say it's because I said yes. So it's very, very little we can do. So you're gonna have to go back and I'll see you back in 6 years. And 6 years, okay. And then I say, but wait, did you say as a reason? He said, yes, I said that. And so, but wait, but I happen to have in my pocket of can I show it to you? He said, you have in your pocket that with that? I said, yes, I do. Can I show it to you? Would that solve the problem? He said, most probably, but I don't believe that that's really the right thing that you're describing it to be. Can you show it to me? So I take it out of my pocket and I said, here, take the and then they take it and then they look at you and then they say, case dismissed, allowing you to thrive in that equation, in the equation of that depth that you deserve so much. Because you worked so hard. And you're kind of tired of letting the world know that you are, maybe no matter how you describe the difficulty, that you're happy, You bother yourself to get to the extent where you're actually talking about sharing that same awareness, me of you observing and acknowledging, me of you observing me, of that sequence, of that existence, of that magic. It's amazing, huh? So just have to do that. Okay. So yeah, I yeah. Okay, very good. Wonderful. So this is what I'm trying to communicate with you, that you have something to show for. Because the system will blah blah you. Okay, and then you say, what? Really? Did you just say Yes, what? Unbelievable. Hard to believe that's such a disproportional punishment. It's like, what the heck? Wait a second. Okay, 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 okay. Can we pause for a second? Can I buy 5 minutes? Okay. I don't want to buy a vowel. I want to buy 5 minutes. And like if you have the right amount to dish it out, you get 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes are more than enough. You make coffee, you smoke a cigarette, make a phone call, take some notes. 3 minutes, 2 minutes left. No, more than enough. Open your mail, check some things in the book that you read. A few lines, highlight this, that. Oh, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Oh, more than enough. We have to make our case. And so you find yourself 15 seconds to the deadline. You paid a fortune to earn these 5 minutes. And then you just take that disc chip on the table and said, here's 35 gigabyte of some material you would find very intriguing. You're talking about 35 gigabyte of about 16,500 items of creative expression. In your face, 1,000 recordings, 127 poetry books, 95 solo exhibitions, 1,500 paintings sold so far, 10,700 paintings created so far. And yeah, quantity is quality. 15 seconds, 2 seconds before deadline, you hit the pause button and you granted your wish because the system's already, before time was up, gathered of the accuracy of your declaration/statement. Accuracy. And you can't argue with brilliance. You can't argue with results that are evident. Not only there, they're just trembling, shaking. And you feel it. You feel the vibration. You cannot just say, yeah, you can say it's not there, but it's there. The more you would want to deny that it's not there, you feel it louder in your ears. But you don't want that. The world is in a place where I don't want to sound cliche at all to say that in most need for love and understanding and tolerance and regard and concern about one another and selflessness, egoless, ego. No, I don't want to be cliche because one must use cliché-ness or be cliche in order to make that point. So that's why if you're already doing it, using and being cliche, just do it fast. Do it fast. Done. Done. What did you just do? It's just elbows, fingers and all that. All makes sense. All makes sense. There is a maestro. This maestro is kind of walking around aimlessly. At least that much we thought, and until we realized that aimlessly was the title of the exhibition. And full of aim, nothing but aim, aiming to all directions possible aimlessly. So there is a gift that we give to one another. As I was standing in front across from this artist and gave the artist a piece of what I said, don't go back on your promise to yourself. But first, don't forget to make that promise. I promise I will let this cycle work itself out to complete a cycle and maybe a couple of them. And then I will make up my mind about how deeper that I would like and wish to find myself in engaging forward in this reality of being one of those who want to share its artistic wealth and precious experience with all the way from your immediate vicinity to the vicinity that stretches across the universe. And look at what people did. A guy named Jackson Pollock dripped a few drip of paintings, and he became like a celebrity for throughout the friggin' centuries. Yeah, well, we don't question that. We accept it with love Because indeed, as pathetic as one might think, if one must to give an opinion about the greatest of the 8 decades and or the centuries, then one might also include some doubt and say, wait a second, you know what? Okay, fine. I will approve. I approve, but so many friggin' question mark do I have after this exclamation mark. So many. But who wants to talk about it? I approve. Because I see the magnitude in a timely fashion of that drip. Miserable, accidental, don't belong, meaningless, painful, confused, challenged. Oof, challenged. I see that. But still, nevertheless, some others joined it and created a composition. Now three is a crowd. And there's the person behind it. And what? Guess what? Where's the genius? This genius lies where? It lies behind the fact that that person decided, okay, maybe there's a good grounds here on my behalf to accumulate somewhat of a semi-full body of work, of results, and I treasure it close to my chest. And boy, oh boy, then I know I'm going to just have something to show for him when I indeed show. It's going to break some hearts, it's going to melt some stuffy minds, and it's going to embark beyond the sparkness of that which sprinkled about your head above your head, and you see something like it's so close, but it's so yet so many light years away from you, which is kind of irrelevant anyway in that case, because we want to be able to call if infinity and say, hey, 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 yeah. Once I tried that, by the way, and that which already almost reached infinity and crossed infinity. Oh, suddenly heard the echoes of whatever. Hey, 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 wait, 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 wait. Where do you think you're going? Come. Where do you think you're going? You know, we want to be able to say, wait, where do you think you're going exactly? So I stand across from this artist and I tell her, abandon the dependency that you're so responsible for. To, yeah, people have good wills, good intentions. People are good people. There's a lot of good energy, but it doesn't mean that people have what it takes to deserve your trust and your love and consideration and respect, and indeed read their books and place an opinion, maybe adapt some of the logic. Yes, but that's not what we're talking about. You want to abandon in the early stages and not the other way around. Like they say, read books, do that, beef it up. You know, prepare this, get the degree, you know, that. Fine. I mean, it's good, but that's not what we're talking about here. You want to abandon, with all due respect, and go into the source that is all about you. And so, you know what? Let me pay attention to what's most important than everything. Enough. I got my iPad and my computer, and I have some notebooks, and I have some pens, and I have some brushes, and I have colors and paint and canvases, and I have easels. I have space for everything. And whenever I want to write the poem as I play the composition, as I paint the painting. And you know what? No one deserves to know or should know how you're doing what you're doing, or pry into your, but just because they have that, find out that they have curiosity, so they say, well, it's justified. Well, there is many types of curiosities, and so many different sources that are responsible for certain curiosity. No, most of them are just up to no good. You don't need that curiosity of something else, of someone else digging and forcing itself to become a part of you and a part of reservoir that it doesn't deserve. There's no justification. Abandon the potential dependency and be cliche for the moment, for the sake of allowing this moment to do its thing within you. And inevitably you'll find yourself quickly enough. You just went to Michael's and you bought a dozen canvases. You just made sure that you buy those cheap brushes and gather this paint, this pigment, give me all these 24. Oh, it's only $50. Awesome. Go there, start paint the past, put it in your immediate. Here, the canvases. Here's 24, 30, 50 brushes. Here's all the containers of the paint. Here's the canvas. That's it, you know. Just imagine you can do that on the canvas. Just imagine you want to talk to just like um, those that play jazz and jazz swing, fast, this, pop, rich. So abandon that which will create the potential dependency that will add, contribute nothing to your life. Nothing. If at all, will take you back. Now, out of your concern and desire to be good to yourself, sometimes you have to call it as you see it and be rough and say, don't crowd me. And the other person say, what did I do? Did I say anything? And they say, no, you didn't say. I'm just like, don't. I cannot tolerate it. And the other person will say, tolerate what? I didn't say a thing. I didn't even move. Don't want it. Don't you? Don't, no. I need that now. So what? Okay, you gotta leave now. Even if you leave for a second and come back, but you have to leave now. No, the other person stands in front of you and says, what the friggin' heck? Who's this guy? What just happened? But it should not be of your concern what they think about the moment that just took place. As long as they leave the space according to your desire, that's how you can proceed. That's how you can continue to pursue. And be kind to yourself. Because it only takes a moment. And even if people's feelings get hurt, they get hurt for a moment only. Then it doesn't come out of viciousness. That viciousness is not within you, and people know that about you. So why should you worry? Go for that source and resource that will guarantee and ensure that indeed your plan, as vague as it might be, is solid as a rock. Solid as a rock. Because it is solid as a rock. Because quickly enough, you also see the result. And quickly enough, you're just standing there. And you say, well, guess what? I forget about Kadama. And they say, what? Wow. And all you hear is wow. And you know something good is happening. You hear something good is happening. You know for sure. You find out. You realize something good is happening. Get something to show for, by the way. What is it? Oh, just 75 paintings that I just did in the last 6 months, in addition to 3 other projects that I did. Oh, nothing. I have mixed feelings about it. And so okay, here's the QR, and you scan, and then you were like, what? Yes, this you want. What's this? Go through all the greatest of the last 120, 50 years. Painters, fantastic, changed the world. You will never find yourself doing, what is this? You will never find yourself doing that. You will never find yourself having this reaction to the works of the greatest. It's just not there. They're great, but they're not great enough to cause you to feel and utter this, what is this? I went through many museums in the world, many times. I never ever stood in front of a piece where I said, what the heck is this? Mind blowing. I would say, wow, this is great. This is wonderful. But it's not it's not this. On the lower levels, you can find that. on the lower levels. Why? Because you can measure the evolutionary process and the nature of the process itself, and therefore really strongly appreciate it. We want to say appreciate accordingly. Accordingly, that means you know the one to infinity and A to Z, kind of thing. You know. And the beauty and the real beauty involved is that you can dismiss someone because you need that moment to yourself. And you know that you're going to be irresponsible and stupid if you weren't to announce to your company that they need to let you be for a moment. And it doesn't matter if this moment is a moment or infinity, but that moment. And then to realize that you can approach these whom you dismissed and say, welcome, I'm ready for you. Would you like to enter? And they, in this belief, will feel very ashamed of how they felt about you and what they said about you, how they react to your actions, and how they belittled the impact of that which they were supposed to learn from, that they just messed it up and spoiled it. They realize it all at once. It's almost as if they want to drop to their knees and ask for forgiveness. But you're looking at them and you're giving them this look. Don't worry about it. I know. But so what? So what? Maybe at some point in your life you were like that. You did the same thing they did. But we didn't have the luck or the possibility or probability even that someone that were born in the 70s, in the 60s, whatever, that our parents will be and finding out what's good for us and being very meticulous on how they look at our future and how they can do, even if you're not filthy rich or capable or full of means. It's just the human quality. And then you sympathize with your parents because you say, only God knows what they had to go through in their childhood. Even if your parents tell you about how they were raised, how they were born, what the neighborhood they were a part of, they don't necessarily are able to tell you really the truth. So you always speculate and say, my dad, I can tell you things that you would say, what? He did that? I can tell you things about my dad. God bless his soul. Rest in peace. That he said that or did that. And you say, really? But I can also tell you about the horror that I don't know of. I'm aware that the probability is there that he had to go through. God bless his soul. Rest in peace. Probably had to go through. And then suddenly all this treatment supposedly that took place on his behalf, being your dad and raising you with your mom and this and that, doesn't look so bad. Doesn't? Then you say, shoot, all this gathering of pain and layers of frustration and just like a sense of missing out on and accumulating anger. I mean, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was angry. I wasn't an angry person. I was angry about certain things, but I was obsessed with my anger. All I wanted to say is like, they could have done it better. Not knowing what I know today. Not knowing that you need to give credit to your parents. Maybe they've been through things that you don't even want to wish to know that indeed took place. And suddenly it just belittles all your little tiny nothing of incidents that took place, and you said, I cannot breathe. This is like a panic attack. No, this is not a panic attack. This is just like an allergic reaction because whatever. And if you be patient, in 10 seconds, it will go away. And if you know what to do, maybe next time it won't show up altogether. Compassion is not something you can give, it's something else that you can give that can bring about compassion to the surface to be evident. And that's the beauty. You can just be willing to share your energy, and that will bring to life that compassion. That indeed it will be portrayed as compassion coming your way. And you wouldn't, if you were to be met by this compassion from another entity and you wouldn't just want to know the details and all this, you just count your blessings. Instinctively, no matter who you are, you will find yourself counting your blessings. As I am counting my blessings right here, right now with you. And going back to this artist that I was trying to give her, and I said, do not discuss this interaction between us with anyone. As soon as you do that, you will delude the substance of it. You will put to rest the potency of what it has to offer to you. Report to me. Send me samples of that which should be common practice in your life. I want to see that greatness coming to the surface quickly. Because all that I shared with you right now spells immediacy. Action required immediately. And yeah, you can do that. You cannot get rid of the sense of urgency. That sense of urgency is like a wet towel in your face. It's like crazy glue. So the other person said, I will. I promise I will. With a smile, with a laugh. And I say, I will too. Because you realize that when you're good to others, and you, whenever you want to say preaching, explaining, stating, suddenly you feel like, wait a second, it's almost like you've been closed in a room for a week with a person and you were talking and texting back and forth, and this and that, and always thinking, oh, I wish I could have had a person like myself now to others in my life that will come and whisper and say, don't go there, don't go there, not necessary. And then again, don't go here, slow down. Or you don't need much to think about that, even though it's important here, here, and here, but not throughout. And then you look at this person, then you look at this, then the implication, then you realize, my God, you breathe freely and more space, more availability, more at ease with what it really requires in order to do what you need to do. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what I can say is that I indulge in that kind of level of camaraderie between me, myself, and I, because me, myself, and I will be there as three entities working to benefit and to enhance and improve the chances of my thriving in this in this in this space that right in front of me, that accompanying me wherever I go. Just wanted to say we're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday, and as much as we're here this morning, already early afternoon of Monday morning, October 21st, year 2024, here with the Hello Hello Show. And I'm just curating the show for Mike Amardo here at LTV. That's going to be on display until November 15th or 17th, something like that. Keep up the good spirits. We know you're out there contributing and doing your thing, and we want to tell you we appreciate it, and it doesn't go unnoticed.